All right, hello everyone. It's Monday. I know it's a little early for a video. We're going to talk about a lot happening, and a lot is going to happen over these 3 weeks. I'm joined by our co-analyst, Dylan Singleton, Caleb Boydston. Fellas, so look, we still got a matchup tonight that could maybe be close, and let's talk about that one first. Mason and Isaac. It's going to come down to Dalvin Cook and Dylan again, helping out Mason with Dalvin Cook right now. Isaac 120, Mason 92. Isaac still has the Chicago defense going tonight. Mason's got Dalvin Cook. There is a chance. Do you think Mason's hopes of the playoffs are shattered? Does he have a chance, a slim chance? Can he pull this one off tonight, or is it done? Dylan, let's start with you.
This is the thing. I think Dalvin Cook should be the fantasy #1 running back. I know Alvin Kamara is right there, and I think any other week I would probably take Dalvin Kamara to make this gap up. But the Bears have the only reason they're 5-4 or 5-3. I believe the Bears are 5-4.
They've lost 2 in a row, I think.
Yeah, they're 5-4. And the Bears, they start out 5-1, but the only thing holding them even with those 5-1s is all their defense. And as much as I think Dalvin Cook can output this and will be their only scorer of this game, basically, he'll be the only way they score. I want to say it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Caleb, is Mason's playoff hopes shattered tonight, or what do you think?
I think it was shattered after week 6 when he started off 0-6. I don't know why he got a little excited about
it. Oh, no. Sorry. I still think the Jets make the playoffs.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you.
Okay.
For interrupting me. No, he's not. He's not good. His team's still bad. Don't let the big names fool you. He started off 0-6 for a reason.
Well, Mason is on a 3-game winning streak. Forgive me if he does lose 3-7, though. I mean, he will be guaranteed a losing record by the end of the regular season. I don't know if that's. I mean,
is it
about the playoffs? But I don't know if that will get him there.
Does it work the same way as the NFC least?
Maybe.
Where you can be an under 500 team and still make the playoffs?
You know, with as many teams hovering around 500, it could be a possibility.
Hey, the Giants might make it this year, boys. We're 3-7, tied for that first place lead. Eagles barely have it over us.
They've won 2 in a row. Miracles, man. Miracles are happening up for New York. Okay, let's talk about this other matchup. And Caleb, this is your matchup right here. What happened this week? Ralphie's Secret Sauce, 115. Caleb, you're sitting at 71. You do have Adam Thielen tonight, unless he goes off for a career game. Doesn't look good for you. What happened, Caleb? What? You talk trash to Connor all the time, and he got you. What happened?
He didn't get me. It's his curse. He put up a good week. It's still a terrible week. But, of course, when I play him, I put up even a worse week. It's everybody who plays Connor is worse than him that week. He's not better than everybody. It's just that week they are worse than him, which makes no sense. Because 115 is not a lot of points. I have doubled 85 points the week before. It's stupid. He thinks he's good now. He beat me by I put up my lowest points.
Before this season is over, we got to get Connor on here and have a little face-off between you two, because this love-hate relationship in fantasy is amazing. Dylan, you look at this matchup, and we're going to talk to you about your team in a minute, but Connor looks to be on his way 7-3, which would be, again, still in a tie for the league leader. When you look at Connor's team and Caleb's team, what do you like and what do you not like about either team and the direction they're going?
I still stand by it. For some reason, Connor's team is my second half favorite. That did include Christian McCaffrey being healthy in the second half. So I think if Christian McCaffrey can come back, it's going to help out a lot. I think Mike Davis has helped out Pam a lot this year. It's going to be tough for him to keep competing. Deshaun Watson's had some tough games, but I think – what is going on in the other room? Someone's dying.
This is how it feels about Connor's team. This is
okay. Well, Connor's team has beat this team, the best team in the league, as we've heard, twice. So it's okay with me. But I like Connor's team a lot. I think he's a lot of issues with injuries for one, or the possibility of these close matchups he keeps having. But he's playing like my team did last year. They play close when they want to play close. And then Caleb's team, I'm concerned about because a lot of his team is just falling apart, and he still has that Lockett-Metcalf duo that just doesn't work out ever.
Well, I wouldn't say ever, but it really did not work well this week. So let's go move on to another matchup. Uncle Rico, a team now 7-3. I took the loss to Jake. I'm 5-5 now. Again, I'm not happy with the outcome, but second, we were both the highest scoring teams as of right now. I'll take that. But Jake's team, let's talk Jake real quick because he's 7-3. He's got, I mean, with Drew Brees now being injured and could miss multiple weeks, that Jake's going to need another quarterback. But Alvin Kamara, again, no one can stop him. And guys, when you look at Jake's team, what could Jake's team do in the postseason? And how worried are you if you guys get a matchup with Jake in the first round or second round, whatever? Can you beat his team? Is he the best team in the league?
No.
Yes.
I'd still rather play him than you or Connor McClain.
Really? Wow. He thinks I'm the second best.
What? I said him rather than Connor McClain.
You said me or Connor McClain?
No, I'd rather play play him rather than Connor McClain or Matt.
So Dylan, why? Why do you not say Jake is why? What's your reason?
So I think Jake finishes one of the best records. Hands down. He's got a decent closeout weeks. He's got some good matchups, but I don't like his playoff matchups. I just don't. I think he's a strong regular season team that gets to the playoffs, and I have him basically losing to every team in the first round except for a couple who won't even make the playoffs.
We talked last week that Jake has got one of the tougher schedules to finish off the season. He will face you this week, Caleb. He will face then you, Dylan, and then he faces Isaac. But these next 2 weeks are big weeks for him. I mean, all of these weeks now, as close everything is going to be critical. Caleb, what about Jake's team? I mean, with these next 2 weeks, obviously you want to beat him, and same with Dylan. But can Jake? What do you think over these next 3 weeks with you and Dylan and Isaac? What do you think Jake's record will be over these next 3 weeks?
7.
I have him winning out, by the way.
Okay. Caleb, what do you think?
I'm losing to me, of course.
Okay, so you have him going 2-1, obviously, right? 2-1 the rest of the way.
Take a game myself. Hope so.
Let's talk about this other matchup. Dylan will go to your matchup. You're going to be 7-3. So there's 3 teams going to be 7-3, and you beat Trevor. Okay, you're kryptonite, right? Trevor's only win was against you. Trevor did not have a good showing. Dylan, you'll probably end up in the 120s if projections end up the way it needs to be. How you feel? I mean, you beat Trevor. He didn't go 2-0 against you.
I think all I have to give up the praise of this is myself, because I specifically said I was going to lose this week, which brought me to win.
There you go. It's funny how it works that way. Caleb, what do you think about this matchup? And I want to add this too. If you're Trevor, how concerned are you come consolation time? Trevor is locked in the consolation bracket. How concerned are you for that ACT? How nervous should you be if you're Trevor?
I'm not Trevor. I don't know. I'd be pretty nervous probably if I was in his shoes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can sense the nerves. I can see it. I can sense it right here. Okay, and then the last matchup for this week, Lance Armstrong, he moves to 5-5. Cookie Town Baby Daddies, who ended a losing streak of 4 games, got a win against me last week, is now back on a losing streak, took the loss. Connor and Braden dropped to 5-5. We're going to talk about this matchup and how critical this game actually was when we start talking about the playoff bracket. We'll get to that in a minute. Injuries this week. Caleb, Dylan, anything big you want to add on the injury front? We did have some big injuries. I mean, what do we got?
I mean, CMC's still out. Dave Montgomery's out, but he's not a tier 1. He's more of a running back 2, so I'm not really that concerned about it. David Johnson's out. I have Duke Johnson. He didn't do great this week, but that's okay with me. I don't really look for points inside my running backs. I have a wide receiver core and a young quarterback for that. Other than that, Caleb, injuries?
Quarterback. Oh, yeah, he used to have good ones. Injuries. I don't know who else got injured. Oh, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater.
That's all I got. I didn't do my job.
It's okay. So we'll talk about that. So let's go ahead and Dylan, if you want to do power rankings we can talk about your playoff brackets, but then let's talk about playoff scenarios after that, because for some teams, for a lot of teams hovering at 500, and some teams very much should be concerned going in these final stretch. Some teams that we thought were pretty confident in playoff lock are not looking like a lock at all anymore, and in fact may not make the playoffs. But Dylan, do you want to lead us in the in your power rankings for the week?
You want us to start playoff wise? You want us to go?
Yeah, let's do the playoff. I'm just going to sit this one out. I don't have a playoff ranking. I'll just add some here and there, but between you two, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
All right, so last week our rankings stood as this week. So I have my 10 seed overall is Cancer still. That sucks for him, but I still see him getting 4 wins somehow. I don't know why. I don't know why I project that, but I project him to win out now. I did have SPP, Scranton Paper Products. Does not work their way out yet, but they are close now. It's my 9 seed. My 8 seed then goes to the New York Jets. I have them projected as the 8 seed. My 7 seed is still continuously is Bryce at 2,000. So Bryce is that big powerhouse that misses it with that close playoff race I have as still, even though he had a good win this week. Caleb, your bottom 4?
No idea. 1 second.
Do you want me to keep going, Matt?
Go ahead. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, so then I have my 6 seed still. So 6, 7 are the same as last week. I have my 6 as CBD. I have Bryce and CBD. It completely depends upon who has the higher points. Because I have them finishing with the same record at 6 and 7 each. So it completely depends on who has more points. I don't know who it'll be, but right now I have CBD projected to have more points. I then have Pam as 5. I have him squeezing in between you and CBD. So I do have you dropping down to the 4 seed this week, Matt. I had you at 3 last week. I have MCLA jumping you as the 3 seed. I still have myself as the 2 seed. I had myself ranked equally with less points with JT. I now have him projected to have half more wins. Due to this week, I picked incorrectly because I had you winning this week. So with that, I have Rico as really my 1 seed. And then that's my playoffs still. I mean, that's how it's going to go. So first round would be, I like you staying in that 4 seed, Matt. I want you to stay there because if I'm the 2 seed, you're not playing me first round or second round.
I'm ready.
All right. I like that. Caleb, let's hear your start from the bottom and work your way to the top. Let's hear your playoff projections standings wise.
Wow. Number 1, we're going to go with Jake because it's Jake and he never loses anything, apparently. Number 2 seed, I'm going to go with the baby daddy still, CBD. They everything can work out. 3 seed, I'm going to go
Caleb,
with,
they can't get it.
yes, they can. Maybe they can.
They play JT at one point. I also play JT. Okay, go ahead. Never mind. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
2 could be CBD because it's in the gym. It's the winner of the gym division and winner of PAM division. Fine. We're going to go 1 Jake, 2 Dylan, 3 Connor, 4 Bryce, 5 myself, 6 Matt, 7 Connor, 8 Mason, 9 Isaac, 10 Trevor.
So just to clarify, which Connor is your 3 and which is your 7?
3 is Fruit Snack. Ralphie's Secret Sauce, I mean. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I went through that just and poof.
Okay. Well, so you guys definitely have some differences there. So let's talk about these scenarios that are coming up, because a lot of teams now, let's just real quick run through the standings. Dylan, Jake, and Connor McLean are both all 3 are going to be 7 and 3. So there's your 1, 2, and 3 seeds right now, what we're going to see when the playoff bracket updates tomorrow. But here's where it gets all crazy. CBD 5 and 5, Bryce 5 and 5. Caleb, you're 5 and 5. I'm 5 and 5. If Isaac wins tonight, he'll be 5 and 5. Then you've got Mason would fall to 3 and 7, and Trevor's falling to 1 and 9. This is where it's going to be very jumbled. These last 3 weeks are so critical because it is coming down to a tiebreaker. It's not head-to-head. We have it set up by points for. And if it ends up being a tie, here's who's in major trouble right now. The worst scoring team in the league is Isaac, as of right now. I mean, we're going to update the numbers. We'll get them overnight. But Isaac is the worst team. So, Isaac, if you're going to make the playoffs, you cannot be in a tie. You've got to jump some of these teams. You've got to get some major wins. And we talked about, too, I got to pull this up again, but Isaac, he is going to play Connor next week. He's going to play me, and then he's going to play Jake. He's got one of the tougher schedules, the second toughest in the league. So, fellas, let's talk Isaac real quick. Does he have a shot? I mean, you guys have him still in your bottom four. Is there any shot to a playoffs for Scranton Paper Products?
He continues to prove us wrong, Matthew, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't have him making it, Matt. I don't have him having any way to make it because he has so many less points by almost 2 games, at least a whole week. And he can't make up a whole week in 3 weeks, I don't think, no matter what. And I don't see him winning enough games. He's got a tough matchup, tough schedule, and his team's just not very strong. I expect him to be down there, and him and Trevor right now, they need to be looking for playoffs, as in looking to the consolation to make sure they win that first round.
Yeah. Go ahead, Caleb.
It's crazy. What a crazy year for me. Last year I was so dominant, 10-2. And this year we're all coming in right at 500.
So I think what we're going to see tomorrow when we get the update is there's going to be a change. Bryce is going to be in the playoff picture, and CBD is not. And here's the reason. This is why this matchup was so critical this week. Is you look for the points for right now hasn't updated, but where we stand, CBD has 1,151 points scored on the season, and 5 points back is Bryce. Bryce ends up winning this week. I mean, he won by 31. Bryce now jumps CBD, and he now jumps CBD in the 6th seed, and now CBD is going to be in the 7th seed. Right?
I didn't see that earlier. So actually, my 6th seed is also Bryce instead of CBD because it's going current. I have them finished with the same record. So at this point in time, I'd have Bryce taking it as well. So I had it flipped as well.
Yeah, it's just this is going to be fun to watch. You know, obviously it's going to be wins and losses, but if this comes down to tie, if this comes down to a legit tie, Isaac is in trouble. You know, the 4-week teams, Mason, Connor, Trevor, and Isaac, and Connor is 7-3, so there's no worry right now. I mean, he's 7-3, but CBD is the only team right now. It's got to be worried because the top scoring teams, Jake should be the number 1 team after this week. Sorry, Caleb, you're gonna get bumped down a spot, but it should be Jake, then Caleb, then you, Dylan, then myself, and then Lance Armstrong, and then CBD. So, Caleb, you and I are okay right now. We need some wins, but if it's a tie, we're fine. But CBD is not. And what are you going to do, Connor? And you and Braden, are you going to make another trade? I mean, what do you do in this spot? And we'll talk about this Week 10 matchup here in a second, but what do you do? You know, Zeke is irrelevant. Michael Thomas has not done anything. And I do want to say, Connor, I did have a trade out there for you, and you said I was going to scam you, but Mike Evans and Ronald Jones, who I was going to give you, and Jonnu Smith. I mean, Jonnu Smith had more points than I think your wide receivers, or close to it. And Ronald Jones had 25. Mike Evans had 20. I was going to give you those guys. All 3 would have been better than the 3 you had playing this week. But you didn't want that deal. You thought I was scamming you. May need to keep those guys now. But we'll see what happens. But right now, your team is in trouble. So do you guys want any other thoughts, or let's move on to Week 10?
I'm good to go.
Okay. Or not Week 10, sorry, Week 11, right? Where are we at? We're at Week 11. So let's take a look real quickly at these matchups. Dylan, you and I are going to match up. I need this desperately. You don't need it as much, but you're trying to fight and keep, 1 seed. You're trying to go for that 1 seed. What do you think about this matchup?
So, in the book, by the book, I have myself winning. But, Matt, you have one thing on your side this week. I have yet to lose an away game, and this is a home game. I am 5-0 in away games. This is a home game. I have lost 3 home games this year. And that means I am 2-3 at home. So you've got a benefit there somehow. I'm projected to win. I honestly think I should win. I've got the Jets playing against my team. I've got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce back. The Steelers are playing the awful Jaguars. But then again, you have DeAndre Hopkins who could score 816 because he's playing the Seahawks. And Matt Ryan, I think, struggles against the – I think the rest of your guys are going to struggle a lot, but I think DeAndre Hopkins could carry you to a win here. Keenan Allen can do great against the Jets, but I have myself winning this week by the book. I'm not going to say who I think will win, though, but it is a home game, and that's all I'll say. Is that a home game? I am 2-3 in this year, and I'm 5-0 away.
Give me
Right.
Dylan. Let's watch Matt lose. Get Matt taking the ACT. That's what we need. All right, next.
All right.
Short.
Next matchup, we got Ralphie Secret Sauce and Scranton Paper Products, 7-3, and potentially a 5-5 Isaac. Caleb, who's winning this one?
Give me Scranton, baby.
All right.
Ride them till they die.
That goes on par with going against Connor's team, so that makes sense. Dylan, what about you?
I have MCLA. I have them taking this win. I have it as a close game, but I have them taking it out.
All right. The New York Jets could be 4-6, but right now looking like a 3-17 against CBD, who's going to be 5-5. Caleb, who we got?
Give me the baby daddies.
Okay.
Mason doesn't deserve these 3 wins.
Wow.
Not good.
Doesn't deserve. Okay. Dylan.
I have the Jets, and it's going to be riding on Dalvin Cook's back again. Dalvin Cook is playing the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they're playing football this year. They retired for the year. Jerry Jones is at home watching the games, I've heard. It's not that they're a bad team. They just had a lot of bad luck this year. And so I think Dalvin Cook carries his entire team on his back and carries them to a victory.
It's a good matchup that Dalvin Cook could drop 40 again. Okay, Lance Armstrong, 5-5 against testicular cancer, 1-9. Caleb.
Yeah, not testicular cancer. Whoever he's playing.
Dylan, do you agree with that?
As I said earlier, I have Trevor winning out from here on out.
Who's he playing?
He's playing Bryce.
Come on,
But Bryce, his entire team is playing tough matchups. They're playing the
Oh,
Colts.
they really are. Wow.
They're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then they have the Miami Dolphins playing Denver Broncos. His entire team's playing tough
Wow, man.
matchups. So
Give me Trevor.
I'm taking Trevor this week because the matchups, literally, his entire team is locked down this week. And Devontae Adams, you saw last week, even though he's a great receiver and all, but it's a tough matchup for the Packers last week, and he was kind of held in check.
He scored like 30 points, didn't he?
Yep, held in check.
All right, and the last matchup, Caleb, you're on the road. 5-5 against the 7-3 Uncle Rico squad. Dylan, is Caleb in trouble, or can he upset Jake?
I had Pam winning last week, and he really just shit the bed. That's all I could say. So he's got Mike Davis on the field, who everyone's saying drop at this point, which I was kind of shocked about. But this can hurt Uncle Rico. He's had a Dak Prescott injury. He now has a Drew Brees injury. I don't expect that to really hurt. I expect that to hurt Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara, though. What did we see out of Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay? Passing and interceptions. He was QB number 9 last year. He had great passing, but he had a shit ton of interceptions. And so with that, I don't think Alvin Kamara is involved as much. I think he still gets a ton of runs and stuff. I think he'll be more of a rushing back than a receiving back, though, with Jameis Winston coming in.
Caleb, how you feel?
Not good.
I still have Rico winning, though. Sorry.
I need to win, don't I?
Yep, they lost. Sends you under 500.
Ah. Hey, yeah. I've got a receiver going against Dallas. I like my odds. Let's go Adam Thielen.
All right. Well, look, we got a lot. We're now in the final 3 weeks of the season, fellas. Every win is critical for a lot of these teams. Dylan, Jake, and Connor McClain have a little breathing room. But for the rest of the league, except Trevor and Charlie Mason, sorry, guys, it is going to be a dog-eat-dog fight these next 3 weeks. So, hey, good luck, everyone. We got good games Thursday night, Seahawks and Cardinals.
Yeah,
good matchup. Here we go.